Firstly, thanks very much, Kevin, for coming on the West Yorkshire Football show.
Happy to be here.
Very much appreciate your time. Obviously, you have been in charge now for, I think, four months. 4 months, yeah. So, just first question: 4 months down the line, how have you reflected on being in charge of Huddersfield Town Football Club?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's gone fantastic. We bought the football, team in 10 days, and we didn't know a lot about it at the time. But as now we look back 4 months, we've learned a little bit. But I love the people, I love the club, and I think there's just enormous opportunity. And so actually, I'm really excited about our future.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. And in terms of it, obviously, I've supported the club for a number of years, so I know the ups and downs of how the club has gone in that time. And really, it's been an up and quite intense period for you in the 4 months. There's been a lot of changes on the pitch, off the pitch, and around the club totally. How have you found that personally?
No, I think you're right. I mean, we've tried to really move very fast. I mean, we really moved quickly when you made certain personnel changes, as you can see, and at the same time, the fixtures came out, and then also we had to start playing right away, and so all that just really compressed very quickly over a short period of time. So in some cases, while we're making changes, it's during after the season started, but then at the same time, we know that we've made a lot of advancements. But we also know we've got a long ways to go. But overall, I feel really good about Huddersfield Town, and I really feel very good about the team that we've put together. The team, our new leadership and employees, and then at the same time, I feel very good about the new manager that came in and about our future.
You talk about the new manager. I want to get onto him in a minute, but obviously, every ownership makes changes on the pitch, and for a football club, the change of manager is a massive sort of exercise. How did you find that period of time, changing from Neil to Darren, and was it as quick as what you expected you personally, or how did you react to it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, first of all, there's never really probably a great time to make a change. We knew that was going to be difficult. We also knew that when we talked to Neil, we knew that we had up to a year, to work with him, but we didn't know at what time we were going to make a change. We just agreed that at the time we were going to make a change, we'd have discussions, internally in advance. So we did that. We were making a lot of changes off the pitch, and we were starting to move our whole game plan, our whole, master plan moved rather quickly, and so it came a little bit sooner than we thought, but not radically different from my perspective, because in the very beginning we were watching. We knew we had only had Neil for a year at the most, and so we wanted to make sure that if there was an opportunity where we felt stability within the pitch, and at the same time if you had the right manager that was available, we would make that opportunity, because as what can happen is the longer you probably would wait, the better the reduced managerial pool of capable managers would go away. And so we really got a great one, in my opinion, and I think many others, with Darren.
Obviously, Darren's come in now, and I think made a terrific sort of impression on the fan base in terms of how he is, and obviously he's got a good record within the football world. I personally think you had the toughest job out of everybody in terms of changing the manager because of who Neil was. So that means that there is a certain sort of pressure there, but I'm kind of guessing you like that.
Well, I mean, look, Neil did a great job for us. He did everything we asked of him and then some. But we also knew that at some point you're going to have to make a change, and there are multiple reasons why, because people want to know the future of your club, and they want to know who's going to be the manager. People knew, I think, that Neil was going to be a placeholder for a period of time. At what time he was going to change, nobody knew. So, you had players that maybe players of opportunity that maybe you could sign. They wanted to know, who's the manager going to be, and what style of player you're going to have. And so that that's just one consideration among many. You can make the change, but the timing was right for us, I think. I know a lot of the fans and the supporters didn't necessarily, because Neil is extraordinarily popular for a lot of reasons, a lot of really good reasons. I mean, after all, look what he did, for the club. So we knew that was going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we also knew we had a really great guy in Darren, and we need to give him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because he came in and the season had already started, but at the same time we knew that as I said, we'd stabilize the club. I think performance on the pitch. He was going to have to evaluate the players, and then determine how he was going to maybe play them differently than the way Neil did. And so he's really been here a little over 2 weeks. That's just it. And so it's still, things are very fresh, and so unfortunately for he's having to do some testing on the pitch to see how players will perform, maybe in a little bit different position or style of play.
Yeah.
And in the end, I think we're going to see really what he feels is best under the circumstances with the kind of player personnel that he has.
Brilliant. And obviously we won't see the longer term of Darren's plan for, I would suggest, a couple of months really, because wouldn't be fair to judge him in 2 weeks, would it?
You're 100%. As some fans, and there's some that are a little bit impatient. They feel that we should, but the vast majority of the fans, I think, have been rather supportive, and I think over time they're going to learn to like Darren more and more. He's got, as he's got a great winning record. He's a man of great character, and he's a leader. And we can tell right now the players are really embracing him.
In terms of the sort of off-field, there's been a lot of changes, particularly around the academy. I love that we've brought in a global ambassador. I don't think that's ever happened, has it? I don't think it's ever happened.
No, Dominic's role is new.
Yeah. So how is your thought process over the academy sort of happened over the last couple of months? I mean, you talked very passionately about it at the fans forum. Are you starting to see though that sort of tree start to flourish?
Well, it's rolling out. I mean, it's really real time, and I think that what we will see is we'll see more changes that go on there. I mean, I think that as you mentioned, it's going to be an important part of our whole portfolio of how we perform better overall, and what prepares us for the future, and not have such a dependency on purchasing players, just during the open window period of time, but really be able to, look into your own, system to be able to see, is there somebody ready there that we can bring up, as opposed to, purchasing a player and then maybe they work out, maybe they don't work out. You'll have better assessment, I think, if they're in your own system. Would we be able to get, our entire team out of there? No, not at all. Nobody would expect that. But I think what it does, it increases, our options. And so I think then when we advance in the overall system, we've got one more opportunity to be able to access if we need to look at some potential players to play.
And you've gone through the process of acquiring staff quite quickly. So are you expecting results as quick, or are you thinking that it'll be over a sort of a longer period of time?
Well, I think that in time we'll see improvement. That you're talking about on the pitch. Off the pitch, we've made a lot of changes, just as well as we alluded to as well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I would say on the apex of the whole organization, we will see you'll see a lot of improvement. Whether it's stadium engagement, fan engagement, or some other aspect, we will be improving. But I think overall, just as an organization at large, whether it's off the pitch or on the pitch, you're going to see improvement. Some will be incremental. Some will be you'll be able to see more visibly.
Yeah, and obviously I know the stadium is a topic at the moment, with sort of things going haywire in terms of the local political scene. But how have you found the talks around the stadiums? I know Jake Edwards has done a lot of work on it. So how have you found that personally? Have you found it frustrating, exciting?
I think it's exciting. The reason is because I think there's opportunity. As you because of the fact that you have three partners, running the stadium or managing, or supporting the stadium, it's hard to get everybody on the same page to move forward. I think that in time, hopefully, we'll have some successful outcomes that will result in us emerging as sort of that managing partner, whether it's we're all by ourselves or whether we have someone else along with us. But as the council has indicated, they want to exit in time, and so somebody's got to step up in that vacuum and participate, and we're prepared to do that. We are. We've shared that with them, and we will. And we've had discussions this week since I've been here on that matter as well.
And you've obviously sort of maybe enjoyed that process of. Is it something you've come up against before? It's kind of a weird situation. 3 parties being involved in a stadium which the people of Kirklees think it's their sort of public asset owned, really.
I mean.
It's weird.
Over my business career, you come in with a lot of different, opportunities. We have to negotiate, deal terms that right now, you don't have a successful outcome. But I think we're early in that process. I believe we're going to get there. I mean, I understand what the Kirklees Council wants to do, and I also understand, what the Giants want to do, what their needs are, and I think they understand what we're willing to do. And I mean, we have the one thing about the stadium, it's a community asset. There are a lot of programs, just like what we have a great program today on women's empowerment. We have, I think, somewhere of 150 people who are there. And I mean, it was really exciting to see that. I want to see a larger number there. Not that but the problem is the facilities right now are somewhat limiting for that. We want to be able to make some changes to get larger numbers in, so we can host a number of activities, whether it's directly club related or not. The beauty of today is, our club got an award, for their innovation, and that really excited me.
And I think what's really exciting about what your plans are, particularly, is you're not just looking at the stadium, but the whole town. What you can do in the centre of a town, what you can do on the station to stadium way project, and that's not really being discussed as much before. And you've looked at the bigger picture there.
It is, and I see a lot of opportunity. I see some opportunities where we want to figure out how we can participate and work with the university. I think there's just an extraordinary opportunity. They're close by, and they've got a number of assets, and I think that we can synergize that with them as well, so that we can create some new programs that I think are really help the community overall. Whether it's jobs or new jobs, or whether it's creating an entrepreneurial program to expand that for people who want to innovate, new concepts in business. I get really excited by that. I've done that before, and I think I see it's aching for here, really in Huddersfield, and I think we can be one of the epicenters for that.
How's the documentary going? Is there any movement on that front?
Yeah, it's funny you said that. We've got 2 other episodes we're about ready to release. We were trying to figure out the timing on that because we were so involved in certain parts of the season. I'm hoping to get a couple of them out before during the break, because there's a little bit of downtime, and I think that they're in draft format. At least one is ready to be released. Hopefully, we're going to try to release 2 at once.
I love it, by the way. I've watched them 4 times over. I love it.
What do you think of them?
Honestly, I think they're brilliant. They're like something that so different that the club's ever put out before. It's the personal touch. It's we get closer to you. We get closer to the other people involved at a higher level. And I just think personally, that to me is it's not just a lovely cuddly sentiment, but it's an actual process. You can see the thought process that's behind it.
It's it's real. I mean, what happened was, Stephen, is we were filming the 10-year anniversary of the Republic. The Republic, as we were having a big event this year in celebration of our 10-year anniversary. And so while we were filming, this whole opportunity, with Huddersfield came up, and so we just said to the guys who were filming us, just keep it going.
Yeah.
And so what you're seeing is a lot of very much real-time discussion. Dave is here. I can tell you, they were filming, and it was as pretty as raw as you could get. We maybe didn't look that great, but it was.
You looked fine, trust me.
But it was real, and. It's a little bit hard once in a while when you have a camera on you, or you've got some. And for example, you might have seen the one event when I invited my daughters over to dinner, and they said, "Hey, can we come over and film you?" And then I said, "It's private, but I'll let them." And so what happened over time is, you guys saw a side. My daughters like to tease me a lot, and so they were they were really on me that night. But I forgot that we were being filmed. And so, we're throwing, they're singing some stuff at me and I'm kind of throwing it back. And I didn't realize until after the fact, one point I said, oh yeah, that's right, I'm mic'd up right now. It's a good thing we didn't say some other things.
Well, that's the personal touch, and I think that's what people really liked. Football can be a very business orientated, management way, and to have that personal feel, I think that's important for a club like ours as well.
Yeah, and you're right. We've gotten. I'll tell you, the response has been tremendous. I think that during, if we lose a match, you've got some of the naysayers, and they say, that's rubbish. And,
you'll always have that.
Yeah, we know that, and that every club has those. But people say we don't want to pay attention to that part. We just want better players, and you didn't buy them in the open window. But we're okay with that. But I think it's the humanization of it. You are right. I'm not really a Hollywood guy, even though I grew up in a lot in that area. The reality of it is you can see the real life, and I think part of it is, purchasing the club here. People, they have to trust me, and that just doesn't happen overnight. That's going to be over time. You have to earn that, and I realize that I've got to earn that. And so what they're seeing is this is a real person. He's vulnerable too. Vulnerable in terms of I'm not afraid of picking up pieces that are on the ground, and I'm saying that the club was on the ground, but I'm not afraid of a challenge. And but at the same time, you're human. And every once in a while, you make a mistake, and we're not immune to that. So they're going to see that, and they maybe have seen that. That part of it is I keep harping my kids. My kids get to pick on me once in a while because they sort of get that right, I guess, because I did it for all those years, when they were growing up. But the reality of it is that. I really love Huddersfield, love the people. They're, we've been here for a better part of a week, and I can tell you, like Dave, we go out in the morning and we walk 5-6 miles, and we have just a great time. People will recognize who we are, and they'll stop us and they'll talk to us about the club, and it makes you smile. Yeah, it makes you smile.
You hinted at the fans forum that there could be Netflix involved. Is that?
Yes, they are. I don't know where we are in the negotiation. I thought we were about ready to sign things, but I can't be certain of that. What happened was once the season got underway, we put it on hold. Although I did talk to Darren about it last night to say, that we might have this opportunity where you're going to see this. And he was, I think, rather excited by it.
I'd love that. Clicking onto my Netflix account and there's a town that comes up, it'd be brilliant. Obviously. Just as a general event, you moving forward, you seem to be, you've got the idea of walking around the town. You get a lot of good feedback. Obviously, social media is very different, and it's a utopian world, and I'm sure you've found out. But overall, your experience of the 4 months has been energetic. It's been good. It's been positive.
My feeling is yes, it has been. The only time it doesn't is, if we don't do so well, on one of the matches, and you get the warriors that get on Twitter and they really take off. But it's really such a small number. They feel like they're a large number because they're really noisy and they get on there, and it might be at a time of the day when they've maybe had maybe 1 or 2 pints, and they're a little bit more boisterous. Yeah. But it doesn't really last a long time. It really doesn't. And the vast majority of the fans are really fantastic, and they see what we're trying to do. They know that we've got a longer-term vision, that we want to protect the club. Of course, we don't want it to get into relegation. They understand. I know they understand that, but a lot of people are really, impatient. That group, they're impatient, and they want a quick fix to things, and it just didn't happen. In the world of business, it doesn't make any difference whether it's, sport or whether it's really a business. You've got a plan. We've got a plan, and I think that we're executing that plan. And we knew it was going to be bumpy along the way because we're going to make changes, and change. People sometimes don't like change, and I think the people of Huddersfield are no different than the people of Sacramento. Anytime you make changes, it's uncomfortable. And I'm a change agent by its nature. I see that when you look at a certain business, in order to make it improved and better overall, not for everyone, but for most people, you've got to make changes. And so we're in that process right now, Stephen, and we really just started, but I think there's just so much opportunity here. so much opportunity. I'm really excited about the future.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the West Yorkshire Football Show, and I hope that we can get you back on soon. And I really appreciate your time and what you've said. And to be honest, as a fan, I'm as excited as you are. So thanks again.
Good. Well, thanks for coming out and seeing us.
Cheers.